Karla, does this make you miss podcasting?
No.
Why? Because you're so insecure.
Oh my God. We're attacking me right off the bat.
Right off the
already.
bat.
The gate is so funny.
It does make you miss podcasting?
I like being like a guest star. I don't think I want to do it the full time.
She just wants
Okay.
to talk about herself.
She wants to talk about herself once in a while.
Yeah,
and then leave
like
it
a
at that.
like a monthly special.
That's called therapy. In case you were wondering. That's normally how that works out.
That's Chris.
Hi.
And this is Karla.
Hi.
And if you follow me on any other platform, you have seen these faces many times before.
Probably.
Okay, Karla, why did you stop your podcast?
My friends and I live in 2 different cities. She lives in Philadelphia. I live in New York City. We're in 2 different stages of life. The commute. It wasn't like that you could rent a studio and like book it. It wasn't like big back then. It was like
Pre-pandemic.
pre-pandemic. It was in like, we were also competing with like Call Her Daddy in that time. Like it was just
Competing. Direct competitor, you would say?
Wait, we were
I
on
wasn't going to say it. So I'm glad someone else
we
did.
were on the top 10 charts for new podcasts weekly when
Wait,
our
that's
episodes
kind
would
of
drop.
crazy. I feel like you got in early too.
That's what I'm saying. So like when we were talking about the same things as Call Her Daddy, it was like, I'm not going to compete with that. That's backed up by people.
So you could have been Alex Cooper.
No.
Okay,
Sophia
so
with an F.
I do want to talk about this though, because a big reason I wanted to have both of you on, other than the fact that like you're just my friends and we could just talk for days.
You're not introducing us? Last time we did, I stuttered.
I just said that's
Introductions.
Chris and that's
She
Karla,
literally said that's us. That's what an introduction is.
right? I introduced.
Last time we did like bios, how we knew each other.
I think she was about to.
He's right.
So-
Literally getting into it. Backseat driver, podcast
It's
host.
crazy. This is so. We're not gonna be friends after this.
This is going well. Now I lost my train of thought.
You said the reason why I wanted to have you on this
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank
was,
you. That sounds like an introduction
I'm
to
just
me.
gonna moderate this.
Yeah. Why don't you take over?
Funny.
Okay. The reason I wanted to have you both on this podcast, other than the fact that we're friends, is because Chris is fully a boxing trainer.
I do not have fully.
No, because fully a trainer, like full-time job, all the things. And Karla's an aspiring trainer. And I feel like most people actually relate more to Karla, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like we're only seeing the people that have, like, quote unquote, made it in any industry online.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so much more beneficial and helpful to hear, like, conversations between friends that are actually happening that people don't see in terms of, like, what's, like, holding you back and blocking you and all the things. And I feel like, Chris, I don't even know a lot about how you became a trainer and, like, how that started and if there were any blocks for you and, like,
I'm gonna
all of
cry.
that.
She's already in tears.
We got tissues.
So why don't you tell us your story in terms of, like,
Yeah,
were you
of
always
course.
into fitness? Like, how did this happen?
I was into fitness. I was studying psychology at in Queens College for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So 20 credits.
That's
away.
why he's woke.
That's
100%.
why he's always psychoanalyzing
That's
us.
why I'm weaponizing it against people. I was 20 credits away and I hated school. I hated school so much. So I did everything in between. I worked retail. I worked at a hotel. I worked at a restaurant. And I liked working out. Like, it was a thing that I did. And it was the thing that I had the most fun doing at the time. So my best friend, Joshua, he was like getting to be a bodybuilder, like getting to that point, and he would bring me along and he sort of validated me in the gym space. So that became my like little safe space. And when I was working at a restaurant, one of the girls I was seeing was like, you know, you can just go to Equinox and like apply to be a trainer. Like, they'll like help you with your cert. So I started at the desk at Equinox because I wanted to see how it worked. I ended up never going to personal training because I just like, I didn't understand the tier system super well and how you were paid and like how it worked. I wish I knew a little bit better. So I just like stayed at the desk. I ended up being front desk manager there. When I left Equinox, I decided to go into group fitness. So I worked for a place called Switch Playground, which doesn't exist anymore. And I went to Rumble Boxing, which is where we all met, obviously.
Okay, so you never had a phase where you were like feeling imposter syndrome? Like, when you first applied to Switch Playground, did you feel?
Every day, still. I mean, imposter syndrome is what kept me from being a personal trainer at Equinox, you know? Like, that was why I went to Equinox in the first place, was to be a personal trainer. And then I let myself, or convinced myself, that all these other factors, like I didn't like the tier system, or I didn't know how I was going to stop me from doing something that I know how to work out. I know how to get people to work out. I know how to make people feel what they're supposed to feel in the gym, but I just didn't do it. And then I ended up progressing as a front desk manager. And if I hadn't, full transparency, I ended up getting let go from Equinox. If I hadn't been let go from Equinox, I probably would still be there as like a GM or something. Like I, as a person, am so comfortable. Like I love comfort. I hate change so much, as like in my DNA, in my bones. I hate it. I love routine. I love like my comfy. So it's like if I don't have to move, I won't. And that was one of the things that, like, by accident, I was like, okay, I only know how to do gym stuff now. I only know how to do like behind the scenes gym stuff, like administrative work or whatnot. And I know the desk, so let me go into group fitness. And that sort of like was the lightning rod, where I was watching the people that I was watching, and I was like, I bet I could do this and it'd be okay.
But when you went to Switch Playground, you were applying as
front desk. So Switch and to Rumble, I applied front desk because I knew from Equinox, I was like, oh, I can get a good view of how things work from the desk. Like you get such a good view, like even you guys, like you guys know how things work, and like the ugly truths and all of it. Like you get such a good view, like like, do I like the people? Do I like the top down, like the brass? So I wanted to start there, but the goal was to be a trainer. But could it have led to me just working the desk like forever? Possibly. Like, yeah, sure. Like it takes, again, as in my DNA, as someone who loves comfort, like it is so hard for me to get out and like do something different. So luckily, what happened?
When did you finally think, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna apply, I'm gonna audition? Like what did it take?
I had other people, so I wanted to. I always wanted to. It was in the back of my head. That was the goal. Once I got there, it's like, okay, this is my next step. I don't want to manage a gym. I don't want to be a GM. I don't want to be front desk like manager. I want to actually be in there training. I knew I wanted to, but I wanted, which I think is Karla's thing, because I know Karla so well, I wanted to be like courted and like broached, like, hey, we think you'd be so fantastic, we see how hard you work, and we'd love for you to be this thing,
instead
right?
of proving yourself.
Instead of just doing it and going out and taking it, I was taking classes and like waiting for people to tell me like, you work out so good, you know how to squat so well, you know what I mean?
This is literally Karla's dream.
That's why we're best friends.
And it's so real. It's like, you box so good, you box so well. So like I had those trainers, like Mo, like these are just names no one knows, but like trainers like Mo, David Newman, like I had those people come and be like, you should do this, you're so good. And like that was validating, but ultimately like didn't push me in any direction. Like it was just like nice to hear, but so luckily like I wasted so much time waiting for someone to pick me from my merit and be like, hey, you've waited so long, you've done all the things you're supposed to do, and you know what you're talking about, and now we're gonna place you. I waited so long for that to happen. It didn't happen. And then someone by accident, by like the very just like mistake of it, did that.
Who?
A dude named Bradley, a coach named Bradley. He's on Peloton right now. Fantastic trainer. He's an actor as well. And he was just like, he's like, you want to be a trainer? He CC'd Stern. He CC'd everyone. And he was like, this kid is going to be good, so do it. But then still, it never materialized. And they like, again, I'm not shooting anyone down. I should have went for it. But it never materialized in the way that I hoped they would be like, okay, we know you. We love you. We're going to help this shit happen for you. But it's never going to be that. It's never going to be that thing that they're just like, prick, pop, there you go, do your thing. It's always going to be this ugly, reach your hands into this like grime and pick it up and take it out. So long-winded answer short, Bradley told them, hey, this guy would be great. And then I finally like pressed the issue with an email to our superiors. I was like, hey, like I'm interested in doing this. Like, don't forget me when you do your next round of auditions. And finally they were like, hey, we're doing our next round. We think you'd be great. Let's try this.
Okay, so I feel like what I just heard though is nothing happened until you finally did vouch for yourself.
No, you have to speak up for yourself. You just, like it's just the end of it. You know what I mean? Like no one's, again, it sounds great, and it's like that's how it should work. When you're a kid and someone tells you like you work hard, good things happen. It's just so simple. It's 1-to-1 math. It's like I do good, you do good. Like I do good, I get good. And it's like it just so rarely breaks out in that way. I know so many intelligent people. I know so many talented people who aren't doing the things that they could or should be doing simply because they're not like opening their mouths to do so.
I also feel like it goes the opposite way, where there's so many people who
aren't qualified but are just going out and taking it, which is what I saw. I was watching people get hired who were less qualified than me, who were working same positions than me, you know, not that they were like unqualified, but I had been working out or into fitness for so much longer, and I would watch them go and be like, I'm literally just sitting here and they're saying they want to do it, so people are hearing them and having them do it, and I'm just sitting here hoping and waiting, like they'll see me pining, they'll feel my energy sitting there just like, you know, and be like, oh man, this kid really wants it. It's like, it's not like an old Hollywood movie. Like, it's one of those things like closed mouths truly don't get fed. And yeah, there's plenty of people who are unqualified to do, not unqualified, but less qualified than other people who simply go out and get it.
In every industry.
In every walk of life, period. Ever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is.
Because I think about it even like with other podcasters, like,
right.
It's like if I never just started, I feel like I'd be looking at so many people who are so far ahead and be like, but they're not even. Which is judgy, and you shouldn't do that.
But
and
still,
I've changed my perspective on that.
It's a benchmark. It's like, it's one of those things like, yes, you should be, everyone's like, oh, like, go like compete with yourself, sure, but it's so natural to use other people in your industry as benchmarks, to be like, hey, they're here, I'd love to get there, like how long did it take them to get there? Like, it's just one of those things you measure yourself up against. Should you be letting it keep you up at night where you're like up to your neck in your blankets and you're scrolling? Like, no. But also I think it's a natural phenomenon that people are like, oh, like this person's here, whatever. But yeah, you're so right. There are people just doing things because they went out and got it. Like, it's just
persistence. And
I heard a dude one time, he was a model and he was super successful, and he was like, he said essentially, which is like, it's called staying power, but he said essentially like, I didn't get any better at what I do. Like, I never got any better. I was just there. Every time I would go to auditions, I'd see the same faces, and then I'd see less of the same faces, and then less of the same faces. Like, people are going to drop out. Are you just there? Are you willing to just, you know, continue to do it? So it's like half of it, yes, is asking for it, but it's like, can you keep it up? You know?
That's why I feel like it's so important to do exactly what you're actually passionate about, especially when it comes to like entrepreneurial endeavors or anything like that, because it's the staying power. It's the consistency.
How long can you hold on?
If it's not in your blood,
you're not going to stick around.
You're going to be one of those people who just falls off. Karla.
Okay.
Elephant in the room. Just kidding.
No, of course.
What's your story from your last like full-time corporate job? Was fashion, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were there,
that was right before pandemic.
Okay, so what made you go from corporate to, because you're in this in-between where you're like, I know I don't want to be corporate 9 to 5. I know that I'm passionate about fitness, but you're kind of in the exact space that Chris was just describing, where he was at the front desk, didn't know how to get to the next place. So without fully jumping ship and becoming a trainer right away, because I feel like so many people think it's black and white. Like, you can't leave a full-time corporate job unless you have something big to like leave it for. But me and you both left our corporate situations without that, and it is possible, and there is an in-between. What was that decision like for you?
I always knew I wanted to do fitness. Like, I would schedule my 9 to 5 to know that I could make it to the gym.
Yeah.
To know, like, I'm either going into Equinox in the morning or I'm going to Equinox at night. I will be at a class. I will go to lunch breaks. I will go work out. Like, that was always my like thing in the back of my mind. I need to do this for myself and to prove to people I'm in fitness. And that was always like my thing. Fashion was not my thing. I grew up in it. My mom's in fashion. I love fashion. Knew that it wasn't in my gut to do fashion.
Okay.
I was told so when I was little that I was never fit enough, did all these different things, all these different factors that made me so insecure. So when I finally found fitness and it was like my therapy, it was what made me feel the best. I was like, oh, I need to do this for people because I don't want anyone to feel the way that I did. So I'm going to be there for people. Crying.
But she's not. Yet.
But no. I'm not yet. But
we're getting there. Honestly, Chris's story just now actually, like, the middle phase literally was you, and it's so 100%. Cool because I feel like you're just like in a different place but gonna get there too, and it's just like kind of cool to get you while you're on the journey.
No, I agree.
We're both looking at Chris like I feel like he has something to say.
No, I truly don't. I was just letting you finish. Yeah, no, you're so right. Which is why I think we've known people to push Karla, like we've known like her, like it just doesn't work that way. I think when you're someone who's like that, it's like you kind of get a point where you're just tired of being passed over, I think. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be something that you'll hit on your own, you know, like
100%.
it's going to be something you're like, okay, I'm super sick of this. What your threshold for discomfort is like your own call, but like it's literally going to be that thing. You're just like, okay, I'm so sick of this. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we've had that conversation where it's like, it frustrates me personally because I'm like, it is such a disservice to be robbing people of what you would give people, you know? Like it is such a, like, it is like, it's just so real. And it's like, that's anybody who wants to do anything they're passionate about. Cause there's people who are doing this as a side gig, as a hope to get famous. And it's like, if you're so passionate about something and you're not doing it because you're just like hoping something's going to bite you about it, it's so sad to know that someone out there is hoping you'll do it and you're not doing it.
Well, it's also that quote that's, what is it? You're most equipped to help someone who you once were.
I get that.
Checks out. That, something like that. It's worded better, but it's something about the person who you once were. You are most well equipped to help that person.
No, like all my resumes.
And that's what you just said.
All my resumes say, I want to be the person that I needed when I was a little girl.
That
is what I say every single time I do a job.
You guys, I need to figure out this fucking quote.
No, she's Googling the quote.
You are... Can you look it up? Wait.
But that's literally what I would always say to people. That's what I want to do. That's my purpose.
So I feel like sometimes you get caught up in, which I feel like we all do, because you know I've had my well share of breakdowns, not in the fitness space, but in my own space, where I feel not good enough, not worthy. I'm comparing myself, and I'm not. Yeah, what is it?
You are most qualified to help the person you used to be.
You are most qualified to be the person you used to be. Thank you, Art. I told you it was a real quote. Oh, no. Yeah. Ed Milet.
That's going to be my next tattoo.
Oh, I like that. It's a little long.
I was kidding.
It's wordy.
It's a little wordy. What I was going to say was it's not personal to you because every industry.
Yeah, I think
everyone
it's a lot
can
of
relate
people.
to it.
Every person, every industry, I do the same thing where I start to almost lose sight of my why. And I feel like that happens to you, where you lose sight of that and the why. And you're so focused on, I'm not as good of a performer as this person. Or, you get lost in like the appearance or the performance of it all. And
no, you're not wrong.
Agreed. But,
You're not wrong.
You guys keep looking at me like I'm zoning out. I'm trying to lock in right now.
No, I think it was like before when I was starting to try and get into it, at least. I think I was doing it for other people because I wasn't ready. And I even spoke to you about it when we were trying to do these things, that I was like, it's not my time.
But what makes it not your time? And I'm not the person to push you in a negative way at all. I want you to be happy and comfortable, but then also push you as a friend to think about the why, like you've done with me when I talk about my shit. So what...
So I don't know where to look, so I'm just looking.
What is the thing that you feel is making you feel not ready yet? Like, what does that really mean?
I think I'm closer to being ready than I ever was.
Not
I truly do think that.
Not the question. I think.
I liked it though.
Good, great answer to a different question.
So what do you think is making you feel more ready?
I care so much, unfortunately. I think we all do, especially now with social media, about what others think and are judging me and all these things.
Like people from high school or what?
Not just people in high school. I think everyday life. I think people that I surround myself with also currently, with people from my past that I have held on to, that I need to be like, you know what? Fuck off.
You are getting there.
And I think I'm like, I'm starting to queen of boundaries. I'm trying to create those boundaries and actually stick to them. And I think I'm getting better with them. I'm still like, if you could talk to my high school friends, they'll be like, oh, she's terrible at boundaries.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to like really form them and like, I'm not apologizing if you feel that way. That's on you. Your feelings are valid, but I'm not making you feel this way.
Right.
And I'm learning to like let go of that.
Okay. And how is that translating to training just in general, thinking too much about?
I think... Am I hurting people's feelings? Am I doing I'm doing this for me? Like if I crash and fall, what are people going to say about me?
It's that.
That's the one.
It's that.
The first thing sounded great.
We both went that.
That's the one. You're afraid of not like not being good at it or not feeling, which is everybody on the planet Earth.
But I think it's more of not crash and burning, and then everyone around me knowing
that it happened. Right.
I feel like that's everyone. Because again,
everyone,
I keep relating to my own stuff.
It's nonstop.
We could talk about the podcast. I could start one right now and say it's so saturated, no one's going to listen. This is so embarrassing. Like, even when I'm on TikTok, I'm like, oh, people come across me and probably who don't know my why, and they're like, oh, she's trying to be an influencer. Like, it's cringe.
Everyone's got, it's like that's one of those things. Like, I've made, like, truly think about it. Like, you've laughed at people who don't do anything. Like, you know, like just like as a human, like, you've probably made fun of someone for like being lazy or not doing something, period, right? So it's like, people are gonna laugh at you for doing something, for not doing something, for doing what you like, for doing what you don't like. Like, there's gonna be an opinion out there, period. So why not just do something you like, or do something that's gonna do good for you?
And by
right?
doing the things you like, you make more friends, which I think we've all experienced through Rumble, and I've experienced through podcasting. Like, you make more friends who are in that space, and then you kind of almost forget that this isn't normal. Like, I feel like you and I started at Rumble at the same time, and both just quit like me and you specifically of everyone quit corporate life without like a net, a safety net, and we kind of were just like, we are gonna figure it out. And I feel like that's why we became so close, is because like we just got it.
Well, I had no option. I think my place closed, and I was like, oh, I have
you
no
didn't
choice.
leave.
I'm
like thinking that I relate to you in such a deep way.
What a fake
plot
bitch.
twist. Hey.
Phony.
She's like, I didn't mean for this.
Well, they were like gonna bring no. To be fair, they were like, oh, we're gonna bring you back. Like, they were paying me during COVID and stuff, and like I was working remote, and then obviously, like a lot of businesses, they had to shut down.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and we can edit out if you don't want to talk about it. Can we talk about when maybe you didn't feel ready, but you started auditioning and whatnot?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
We could talk about that.
Okay, so, and I think you kind of just
That's
alluded.
the good stuff.
It's the good stuff.
That's the mental breakdown.
Right, because you just said, what's holding me back is failing, crashing, burning, and everyone's seeing, right? You've already experienced that. Not that you failed and crashed and burned by any way,
No,
but
I
like
did. 100% I could acknowledge that I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't get an audition, which is a very normal human experience. That is not crashing and burning and failing. You decided to not keep going, which is totally fine. But what happened? Nothing.
I'll like even cut in though, but and like I'll go like, she didn't even give herself a chance to crash and burn. Is the thing.
Is what I was
like
trying to get to.
she pulled herself out of the running, and it's like that doesn't count. You know, like
well,
so
it's what you just said.
Right.
People started falling out of the auditions, and like it's that
so
staying
like that's
power.
like I don't even think she had that moment where it's like she crashed and burned because she like no, I'm not ready.
I completely agree, and I corrected myself right away.
Yeah, no, you're there with it.
But my point was in her emotions at that time, and I'll let you speak about your own emotions.
You were like my soundboard. Like we had conversations about this, but I was like, during that time, I was venting to Jen mostly.
Tell the story, because no one listening knows what we're talking about.
Go for it.
When did you all of a sudden you were like, no one listening knows that we're talking about you auditioned
Probably
for Rumble and
We're talking about
F45?
Rumble? Okay.
All of it.
Well, I didn't audition.
F45.
I didn't audition for Rumble.
F45
I'm talking about F45
Oh, you are?
mainly.
Are you talking about F45?
F45 was a full blown like
But
that was
that
the
was an
first
audition.
time
But
that you
that was
actually
my first
went
audition.
through.
Time.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Rumble kind of was weird, and you knew you needed more experience, so you went to F45, and that felt so you could tell that story.
That's a true like bottom.
Yes.
I feel like. I feel
Yes,
like that's
and
a
then
good,
ever since then, you never really you weren't ready. So can you talk about what happened where you were like, okay, I'm gonna go for this, and you got the confidence to finally do it, and then what happened after?
Well, with F45, I think I was doing stage practice with another coworker of ours, and we both did. She continued. She didn't get it. I took myself out. Never happened. I was like, okay, you need more experience. Let's do F45. She was like, hey, I sent the email. Send the email now. And we both agreed, hey, we're going to audition for F45. They send you like a little thing to do. It was like you had to cue a move, and that was it. And I was like, okay, excited. I thought it was going to be easy peasy. I worked in the morning. I looked cute. I remember Jen was like, this is a perfect outfit. Cool, girl. I was ready. I was like, I don't need to rehearse this. I even asked Chris, is this the correct move I should do? Progressions, regressions, everything.
And it's rare that you're this.
I was cool, calm, and collected for once.
Yeah. For you.
For me.
I didn't say you were.
Oh.
I don't know if I know that. I'm kidding.
Was quick.
Continue.
Therapy with K is crazy up in here.
That's a good podcast.
Therapy with K?
No, we're only hard on you because.
Well, these guys are my friends, everyone.
Yeah, it's also we're not even being hard on you.
No,
I feel like we're a safe place for you.
I'm staring at Josh.
Okay, so continue. You finally felt prepared, confident.
Finally felt prepared. I got there, and it was 3 of us, and it was me and my friend and another girl who actually worked at Rumble, which is funny. And it was just not the audition I was told. It was like, oh, we're taking class. And then right away, you're going to do this, cue it. And I was so thrown off because I was so prepared for something. And I've never auditioned. I was never a theater kid. I was never like a singer in
First audition in your life.
First audition, like cold turkey.
Which is key.
Yeah, no, especially
to remember for
like
yourself.
like that was just never me. Like I was never like doing auditions. So I was like, okay, this is like, we got this. I was so prepared. No, I was not. I just couldn't, because I was so over prepared. I fumbled. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was stumbling over my words, the moves, I made them up. Like it was bad. And I felt it. I was sweating. I was bright red.
You didn't even really tell me after that you felt it was bad.
Oh, I knew in the moment. I said I didn't get that.
I didn't hear from either of them for days.
Yeah.
I saw you the next day.
No, but like about it, for like reference speaking, we're speaking about a friend named Sid. Our friend Sid. They both went together.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about F45 for days.
What's funny about this, because we keep referring to how I have like these breakdowns
Yeah.
too, is you guys found out the day that I had my first period post-birth control. And
No,
had a
we stopped on the West Side Highway together.
I was hysterically crying.
And then we went to the puppy store. We have pictures.
about my own stuff. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, we did go to the
We
puppy
did.
store, and then you found out. Okay, so continue the story.
Well, I knew I didn't get it. And I knew I fucked up. And everybody's like, no, like you did great. Like, and I was like, no. I fucked up. And if this is how it's going to go, I'm going to get in my way. I'm never going to get it. In my head, it was like, oh, I'm never going to be in fitness if this is what's going to happen to me.
Okay, so you didn't get it.
I did not
And
get
since
it.
then, you've just been back to, which is totally fine, doing your own thing, not auditioning, which is totally fine to take a break. I think
Yeah,
you
I
needed
think
a mental.
it traumatized me.
It did, even
It
though
did.
it was your. And I think as your friends were like, that was your first audition. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of sometimes want to be like, what would you say if it was me? And I went on my first audition of my life.
I'd be like, it's okay, Jenny.
And I fumbled an F45
Yeah.
audition and I didn't get it.
And it's also so crazy because it wasn't something I truly wanted. I just know like I
was a
needed
step.
to like take that step, and I failed at the first step, and that's what hurt.
Okay, so when you say you're traumatized, now where are we? Just because, like, I'm sure so many people listening can so relate to the feeling of, like, not everyone tries something for the
Yeah.
first time and gets it and then soars and is
No,
like...
No,
Like,
no one ever
so
does.
rare.
Now I'm more accepting and know that in the moment, in the first couple of months, obviously not.
But you were not the only person to, like, not get a job and not, you know,
Exactly. Like
get
now
an
I'm like,
audition.
I could hear this.
And, right, you're not... And I'm sure there's some people listening saying, like, I'm probably in the same place where, like, even, like... recording like your first YouTube video or podcast or,
Yeah, it's never
or
gonna go
first
right.
day at your job. Like I was listening to Ed Milet the other day and he was like, everyone's first day of their job is so fucking awkward.
It's awful.
Like you don't know where you're going. You don't know
It's
anything. And
awful.
it's the same thing with a first audition, a first time anywhere. So, okay, where are you now then emotionally with the whole thing? Because you just said you're traumatized.
I'm traumatized from that place.
Okay. So we're not going to go to a different location or anything.
No, I also just don't think it was my setting. I'm really into like the culture and like making people feel seen. So yes, it would have been a great learning opportunity, but I don't think it would be a fit for me.
Kind of see you at like a West Village Athletics vibe.
I've never gone. So
Me
I couldn't
neither,
say
but the
anything.
way I hear it's like communities. So like the same people go to
Yeah.
every class for
Like
Shout
I'm big
out
on
Mac.
community.
and Claudette.
Ha, there you go.
Chris and I missed our 8 a.m.
Oh, I
GVA one
heard.
time.
No, I'm just, yeah.
I just got invited to a running club at West Village Athletics.
Is
They
that
said,
why
"Do
you're
you
trying
have
to run outside? Is that why you're practicing running on TikTok?
No, I haven't done it yet, but I really want to become a runner.
They look
Yeah,
like
I
they
saw
have
your
fun.
TikTok. Wait, I asked him last night if we wanted to pick up running. He said, bitch.
He said no.
He said,
do it.
bitch.
You know, because she said, and I quote, "We need to start running." It's
and
like,
you're like,
excuse me? What are you saying right now?
we need to start running.
Hey,
Wait,
we need to start running.
Speaking of, I actually want to talk about fitness though, because you're both obviously
Uh-huh.
fitness people. So just to round this out though, let's like give some positive affirmations. Where are we going? Where are we headed? How are we feeling about this now? Like you said, you were traumatized by it.
Oh,
You're
I
not
thought
gonna
she
go
was
there.
like about to ask a question, like, what's your favorite workout move?
No, like how are we? Like let's round this out.
She put you back in the F45 space? Okay, do the
Cue
audition
us,
again.
cue us.
Nah, that's great. Do it.
And the music, oh God.
Nah, that's funny.
flashback.
Audition
I
for
think
us,
she's
and we'll tell you
talking-
you got the part.
I think she's talking about where you're at in your journey now.
Yes, thank you.
I'm more open to trying things that scare me. I think I'm more comfortable. I know, like, people are like, come on. But I truly think I'm in a better headspace with it. I think my birthday's coming up soon. Like, I always look at a new age as like, okay, new opportunities, new time to do things.
Okay, what has anything helped you? I know you ghosted your therapist, but is there anything that's helped you through this?
To be honest, this guy next to me.
Aw.
Buddy.
Is there one thing that he said in your head that, like, you know, when someone says one thing that like sticks with you?
Sorry, I can't look at them. They're making fun of me.
Has there been one thing that Chris has said that like sticks with you?
Always. He's always had my back, and I always know when, like, he knows when something's wrong before I do. Or like he always says that, like, I'm not good at communication, or like letting my guard down, saying like I'm not okay. He will pull it out of me. He'll be like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to breakfast because I know you need this, and it's okay. We don't have to say anything. And to know that I have that person there that knows that and could sense it and will be like, okay, and give me that safe place is huge. I don't think I've had that in a friendship in a long time.
Chris, it's so cute.
It's buddy.
Especially, I feel like now, at that time, I don't think you were as close.
No,
I
we
think
weren't.
this brought us closer.
That specific moment, we actually weren't.
So when you're so
that
focused
close.
on like what are people gonna think, it's like now you kind of have your support system that it's kind of like I don't
Exactly.
care what those other people think because I have my people who like know me.
Yeah.
You know.
That's so fair too, because I feel like, and I'm speaking for you again.
No,
I'm so
it's
sorry,
fine.
but like during that time, I do feel like I remember from like an outside circle.
Yeah.
It did feel so transitional for you, because like you were defining your roles in your old friend groups and
Yeah.
like in your old, like, you know, you were finding your new people now. So it does, I get that, where it's like there was no net if you fell on your face, you know, like you were gonna hit concrete. Whereas I agree, like now you do have a really extensive network of like fail safes and
Like during that
stops
time,
to
I think
make
I was
sure.
just telling Jen, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Which is so
I don't
real.
want to put her in the middle because she was friends with every single one of us.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's kind of, it's like inspiring because I've been very into hearing about successful people who started their hobby or whatnot
Yeah.
like later in life. And it's just like you really do have so much time. And I think we put so much, like on one
Yeah.
hand, I completely agree. You need to use your voice and you need to be the one consistently showing up. But it's also okay if you need some time to like heal through some shit and find
Yeah.
your people that will be there once you like gain the courage again to like go after it.
Like, look at him. Like, you're what, 1-2 years at Rumble?
I'm gonna be 2 years, June 4th.
And you have an 11-person wait list on the regular.
Yeah,
I sell
yeah.
it every single
Sellouts.
day.
He won Best Instructor from ClassPass.
That's right.
Like, it's
forgot
such,
about
it's
that.
so huge. Like, we look at it like we're like, you're older than me by a year, but like still, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, you achieved that in such a short period of time.
So
is
quick.
Right.
incredible, and it says a lot.
And like a lot can change in even a
Yeah.
year, a
So
month, a day.
fast.
What do you attribute to now that, okay, we heard like your beginning and now it's like Best Instructor ClassPass sells out every class. Like, what do you attribute if someone is like an aspiring class instructor?
Good question. Fantastic
I
question,
do this for a
Jenny.
living. Actually, I don't.
Not yet.
November
Manifesting
2023.
it.
Not yet. Right. Exactly. Someone who wants to get started. I mean, do it. Like just truly just get started. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You
But
know.
what if
Like,
someone doesn't know even how to start?
how to
like,
get
what
started?
is it?
So
Yeah.
if I was to give someone, I actually had someone reach out, a client of mine reach out and was like, "Hey, how did you do it?" Mine is like mine was the long game. You know what I mean? Like, I surveilled my fucking landscape of fitness for years, which I wouldn't suggest anyone do. Like, just, you can start small and you can start really anywhere. There's so many places. Do I name the places? Like, Body Rock Studio has a really good instructor program where they like teach you the reins so early on. New York Pilates, you have to do like hours, but they can help you get set up with a place to learn your hours. F45, like very, very entry level fitness, like so simple to just like get in there and sort of get off the ground. You know what I mean? When you get comfortable. But really, any place that you like to go, period, ever, take a lot of classes there. Like, be a face that people recognize, be a face that people know. And it's like, the more you get to know your favorite instructors / your favorite studios, like, it does become so much easier to be like, hey, I want to work here. And it's like, it's not easy to tell someone who's working 9 to 5 or who's literally existing in their space with the money they make from their corporate job, their 9 to 5 taxpayer job. Like, I get that much. But if that's something you want to do, like, be there, be around the space that you want to be in. I promise you'll start to by accident. That gravitational pull is so real. You'll get close to it. And it's like, everyone's story is going to be different. Some people can flat leave their job and scrounge off of front desk money and like make it work, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Some people need a gentler, like I have Dana Monarchy works. She's one of the trainers at Rumble. She's a fantastic trainer. She has a corporate job, if I know, and she teaches classes alongside of me. So like everyone's story is so different,
Yeah, same with
if
Nancy.
if I had to give just like a stamp one thing advice, is just like start somewhere. Wherever you think your starting point is, start. If that means picking a studio to take classes at, pick your favorite studio, take extra classes, get an extra class a week. If that means talking to your instructors after class, or inviting someone for coffee and be like, hey, I'll buy you a coffee. Can I just like bend your ear on how this works? Like start.
Bend your
Do
ear?
something. You
Yeah,
never
like
heard
to
that?
talk.
Pick your
Jen.
brain.
Come on, pick your brain.
Bend your
Come on,
ear.
I'm old, you guys. I've
Never
heard all these
bend
things.
your ear.
See,
Well,
Jen
you're
was
about
the
to
first
hear
one
it.
to tell me to go get coffee with someone which was
because
Sophia.
that was my go-to in like any career.
It works. No,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
just
every
it's so
job
simple.
She always
got-
said like you need to go have coffee with Sophia.
Yeah,
Sophia
'cause-
from Army, great person by the way.
Yeah.
Take her class.
Because every
It's so real.
Yeah.
every job I ever had
Mm-hmm.
came from having coffee with someone and then being like, oh, I actually really like this person. I'm gonna put
Right.
their resume through.
It's
like
so
that
easy.
that
Yeah.
connection when someone's like rooting for you
Yeah.
because they like you as a person.
Some people
You
do
get, like,
that
mentorship.
as their interview process.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Bree used to interview people for this girl I used to see. She used to interview people and like would literally just have them come to coffee and just talk and be like,
It's smart.
I did like them, I didn't like them, like we didn't vibe, we did vibe, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. And it's just like that's so easy, and you can do it. If they what's the worst thing they're gonna say? No. Like,
Well, they'll just be like, thanks for the coffee. Bye.
yeah, truly.
Thanks
What
for the
makes
free
a
coffee.
good fitness instructor?
What makes a good
You're asking him?
fitness instructor?
I ask you
There's so many different parameters, like there's some of my favorite fitness instructors are so good at being able to make you feel in your body what you're supposed to feel, some people make you feel seen. I think if I had to give one definition, it's making people feel seen, and it's like some people
Why you're
Yeah.
successful. I can tell you that as a
Yeah.
I
client.
think that's like one of the first things I noticed when I took his class,
Yeah, that's
and I wasn't
actually-
even friends with you.
It's
Right.
a really hard thing to do, I imagine, when you're
It's
teaching
not easy
classes
at all.
No.
multiple times a day, every
100%.
day.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like one of those things. It's because it's tough because some people are so big on like a good trainer is someone who gets through their class format seamlessly,
Yeah.
like technically sound. It's like I don't give a fuck about that. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
it's like people who do group fitness, or I sort of broke it down to this. If someone wanted to learn how to box better, they wouldn't choose me necessarily because it's oversaturated. New York City is so oversaturated with fitness. You can't go 5 blocks without seeing some sort of studio or gym. You know what I mean? If someone really wanted to learn boxing, they would get me for my time for an hour to learn boxing. If they
Yeah.
wanted to learn how to work out, they would get me for my time for an hour to learn how to work out. People who do group fitness are paying me to get them through their workout.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Karla
is
and I love
the
it as a
definition
client.
of like a group fitness
Yeah.
client, and it's not like a negative thing.
No.
Like if someone knew their workout, they'd probably do it on their own. People who do group fitness are there for the energy to finish their workout.
I think
That's
it's so big.
how I define my role, and once you know what role you have, you
Right.
get good at it. So it's like, sure, am I like naturally inclined to make people feel seen? Sure, I pick up on things. I'm perceptive, as far as like energies go or body language. Yes, like it is my strong suit, period.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not doing anything in that room that no one can do. You know what I mean? Look someone in the face, call someone by their name. And it's just like making people feel seen and getting them to the end of that workout is what a good instructor does.
It sounds like exactly what you want to do, Karla.
That's why we connect. That's why
Yeah.
we're best
Right.
friends, because taking his classes, like I would take the 12 or the 8
Right.
before we were friends, and I
Right.
would
Yeah.
keep coming because I was like, he makes me feel like I'm the one person in this class and I'm just kicking ass and I'm going to start my day amazing.
How do
And,
you
like,
want to make people feel? Because I know you said that like the reason you want to do fitness is because in your past you felt super insecure. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So, like many others, I've had an eating disorder my whole entire life.
Like many others.
Doug, she called me out.
She stared at you.
I just feel like it's
are
so.
you good?
She whips out her list.
Sorry,
Sorry.
buddy.
And I think working out was one of the things that hurt me so much because I was overworking out. I was tracking my calories. I was writing them down. I was making sure I lose a pound.
Would you call that orthorexia?
Yes, I was diagnosed with that by a therapist. Everyone, I did go to therapy
Before she ghosted her.
for a good
Not a stranger, a therapist.
3 years. With other ones, obviously, but that was one of them. I was so fixated, and it was the one thing that I kept doing, and it was hurting me, but it was also the one thing that was saving me, because in that moment, I was so amazed that my body could move like that. My body could lift weights. I felt stronger mentally, physically. It was just such a crazy feeling to me, and it made me feel so empowered in that 45 minutes in any class, even when I worked out alone, that I was like, oh, I could do this for people. I want people to know, like, I have your back, and you got this. You're going to be okay. So that's where I get it from. Like Sophia Nicole, she's the same way. I take her class. She works at Army. Her and Chris are like my top 2 inspiration as trainers. You take Sophia's class. You come out thinking you're her best friend, badass, hottest thing alive. From her words, her motivation, the way she's just so comforting.
You do that for people, though, at the desk, which is like, what? Who the fuck
It's
does
so real.
that?
It's
Right?
so real.
Like, people walk in and become obsessed with Karla and think that they are her best friend.
100%. No, it is so real.
And I'm like, get the fuck out. She's my best friend. And I'm like, get out of here.
That's funny. No, it's so real. I say that all the time.
Like, she has that.
Clients
In
clients
her.
come for, like, as much as they come for me, they stick around for Karla. Like, they're at the desk. Like,
No, it's true.
today Karla wasn't there after class for the 10:45, and we have clients who come, stay, and kick it and talk to Karla for minutes at a time.
Yeah.
They were gone. I left, and they were already on their way home, starting their day. It's like, that is a quality you possess, which is so real, you know.
You're
She
so-
knows.
She's
She's
still
giving me
growing. Look at her
compliments.
sweatshirt. I'm still growing.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
fine.
well, I'll have you on separately to talk about all that. But let's get into
Oh, God.
fun facts and favorites.
Fun facts and favorites.
I have to pull them up.
Who's your favorite person?
Me?
Yeah. Me.
Took too long, Chris.
Yeah,
Hey.
Muchacho's up there, man.
Oh, he's not a person. Sorry.
Says who?
It's 2023.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I guess for all of these, Karla, you go first, and then Chris will answer the same one second.
Ladies
Are we playing a
first.
game?
It's like rapid fire.
Okay. I thought like
You
buzzer.
don't like games?
I love
Wait.
games. I thought we were going to have like
Are
a
we playing
buzzer.
a game?
I have a question.
Okay.
Who here listens to Dare to Self Care?
Me.
Sis, you know, and a hand came up in the background. I saw it. There was a hand
What?
behind you. Yep. Someone
At
raised
my
their
other
hand.
job, I literally tell people to listen to you.
So then why don't you know what fun facts and favorites is?
I thought we were going to make it more fun, like a game.
What's not fun about this? We can go
I'm
on.
di-
We
I'm
could
digging
do like
myself a hole.
a truth or drink another time.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, but we don't want to drink.
This one isn't going to be fun, apparently.
Okay, can we do the intended then, please? Okay, Karla, you go first. Top self-care tip.
Oh, last time I said bath. No, I said I pee first.
Oh yeah, no, that was your
That's
morning
your
routine.
first routine thing in the morning. See, I listen to self-care. Dare to self-care.
Working out. Obviously, guys.
What workouts?
Deaf, boxing, or boot camp with Sophia.
So Chris's boxing class or Sophia's? boot camp?
That's where like I'm really like focused.
Okay, your top self-care tip, Chris?
I think going on a walk is huge.
I've been
I
living
find
for that.
my best self, my best version of me is someone who gets their walk in, like, it's not even super long, but when I'm outside and walking,
We get our steps.
Find it right. I find it hard to be in a tough space when I'm moving and I'm seeing things. Like, it's so much easier when you're cooped up, you're inside, and you're not, like not seeing anything, to be in a bad mental state or like place mentally than if I'm outside walking.
And like
moving.
off the phone.
Yeah, with your head up.
Anytime I feel like I've been cooped up all day because of my 9 to 5, I always take a walk after work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it never
it
fucking
helps.
fails.
Oh, it
No.
crushes. It crushes.
Okay.
Hako walks aren't just like a thing that was like
No, it
trendy.
feels
Like, Hako
good.
walks are so real. Like, it's just
Chris loves the hot girl walk. Heard it
Hako
here
walks
first.
are the best phenomenon TikTok ever brought. It's the best thing
I
an
love it.
influencer's ever done for us.
Okay. What
I
is a wellness
sniffled.
product you can't live without right now?
Bloom.
What? Oh, Bloom. I thought you said blue, like the color.
I thought she said the color blue too. I was like,
Bloom the greens.
Blow. Yeah.
What do you love about it?
It really deep bloats me in the morning.
You actually think? I like don't believe that shit works.
I'm cracking up.
At who?
She's
Because
so
You give me
weird.
the dirtiest.
No, I didn't mean to. She
Can't
said,
help it.
No, she said morning skinny.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, every morning, can this be part of my morning routine? I take a picture of my morning skinny and I send to Chris.
What's a skinny?
My
Your
morning
stomach?
skinny.
When you first wake up and you have no food in your system and you're just like,
This is toxic.
this is tough, bro. And she went on the pod with it.
Fucking.
Hey, there's no way this sees the light of day.
This should.
It should, because you know what?
Hit me. Everyone knows what. Like,
It's fucking toxic, and
It's real.
everyone will probably like
It's
if this
not
went
gonna-
on
people know what
TikTok,
it
this
is.
would be
They
like
might call it
People
something
do
different.
it.
controversial
They
and
might have
awful.
a different term for it, but the first time she told me about it, I was like, oh, I know. Unfortunately, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Exactly.
This is toxic, but I guarantee someone listens to this and is like,
It's
oh,
like,
I do
oh,
that
fuck.
too. Like, I
It
do that
means
too, and no one
not
can talk
true.
about it.
It
I
means-
don't
I used
do
to
that
talk in
because that's
therapy.
toxic, but
Yeah.
No, I used to talk about it in therapy. Like I only do it in the morning now. Like before used to be bad.
Okay.
what? You were taking nudes all day?
Yeah.
Done for.
Nudes on Sundays.
And then like zooming in, like what was the bad part? Just that you were
no,
obsessing?
I would just like always look in the
Use
mirror. Like
time
any
for
mirror I
it,
would
yeah.
pass, I would like obviously lift up my shirt.
How did you get like past that?
How do I get past that? Therapy.
Just something to think about.
Something to go back to.
So
Hey,
weird.
I'm working on it.
So a therapist genuinely helped you like change your habits with
Yes,
that?
there's also like there's obviously a whole scale of different habits that I had and
Yeah.
that I don't do as badly before. I'm always gonna have these issues. Like don't be real. It's like don't be real.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. I'm always gonna have this. It's
I love
just
the honesty,
the way
though.
that you handle these different things now.
But I genuinely appreciate and love that you're able to joke about and even just
Yeah.
like be like, yeah, I'm toxic and I take a morning skinny and I'm trying to. And guess what?
Yeah.
And guess what? It used to be worse and I took them
Used
all
to be
day.
worse.
Like a
And
win
it's
is a
funny,
win.
Like I send it to him. Like if I
Growth
was
is
being
growth.
serious, I would send
Yeah.
it. I would post it. Like,
I don't know about that. You'd post all of your 5
Yeah, I'm
nudes
not-
a day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. It's not there.
All right, I think I'm just gonna move on. What is your wellness product, Chris?
I don't know.
Chris,
Man, let me
well,
tell you,
Bronx. I mean, Josh.
is losing. it
Josh
back
is
there, you
losing his
guys.
shit. We needed
That's
a Josh
so
cam.
good. We do need a Josh cam. He is his reaction.
The
to
best part
stuff
is he's
is-
holding it in
Yeah,
too,
like,
even though we're
laugh.
literally
You can't
talking.
hear him. No one who's listening to this can hear him.
You can't
period.
hear him, so why is he holding it? Like
I don't know,
he's choking himself.
buddy.
buddy.
That's funny.
Okay,
I don't know if I have one. Like I don't know if I have like a specific. Like does coffee count?
No, we drink way too much coffee between the two of us.
I guess that's my answer.
Our favorite
you don't have
pastime
any
is
like
getting
products
coffee.
you use,
No,
like a
I really don't.
chapstick?
I wish that I had like a routine, but like during this process I dove so hard into just like waking up, getting to the studio, figuring out that stuff. I wish I had a better wellness routine. I'm gonna say gua sha. What's gua sha? Is
You
that a
don't
thing?
gua sha.
What's gua
Shit,
sha?
he doesn't
I'm
gua
gonna say
sha.
gua sha. I
Okay,
used to like a jade roll. A jade roll could be
Okay.
jade roll could be great.
When have
But
you
you-
ever
Face.
jade roll?
Listen,
Which girl made you jade roll?
that's the best question you've asked me.
I'm
Cat
gonna
made
just
me jade roll.
let you know. The question was a product you can't live without.
Can't live without a jade roller. Keep that. I need that as my ringtone.
Why do you think that I edit anything out? All of this is making it in.
I'm so good.
I cannot live without a jade roller right now.
I'm actually
Live
crying.
without a jade roller.
Um,
My
You
skin
guys
has
don't
never
read.
looked better.
do you listen to
can't read.
podcasts?
I read.
Okay, what's your favorite book?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So my family has this ongoing joke because when I was little, every book report I wrote was about holes. Like I have about like 20
huh?
books.
Dig it up. Oh, holes.
And I had like
Wait, like that Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
and I had
holes.
22 book reports they counted about holes and they were like, "What is wrong with you?" That's not my favorite
We
book
still haven't
either.
figured it out.
She likes all holes.
Whoa, it's a different podcast.
Oh my god. Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Chris and I actually went to the bookstore 2 weeks ago. It was lovely. He got a book.
Devil House.
He has not started it.
Chapter 1.
Audible. On your walks. Listen on Audible.
I don't like that.
Audiobooks, yeah, that's probably good. But I feel like that would zone me out.
I'm against
You know?
the
Isn't
that the
auto
point?
books.
No, I wanna look
Audiobooks.
around. I'm not good at looking around when I walk. That's my one thing.
Wait, what do you do?
What normally I'm on my phone. Like when I walk, just like travel. So when I do my walks, I try and like see restaurants. Like
Why can't you listen to something?
it'll zone me out. My ADD will just go crazy. I'll just be into the book.
So you intentionally
Have to
Have nothing.
No music. Even if I have music on, I'm like just it'll zone me out. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It'll zone me out, and that's it. So I have to like make it like a concerted effort to be like, I'm walking now,
Got it.
and I'm going to look.
And I'm going to
See,
look
I
and
need
see.
music.
I
create
like a
get that.
podcast.
It's so fair. Podcasts are
But
a good.
I
job.
can't do a
yesterday
podcast.
on the West Side Highway, I intentionally paused my podcast and looked out into the water.
Fun.
That's nice.
Fun.
Great.
Okay, I already asked Karla this, so Chris, this one's for you. The last question: what's your
Eat me.
favorite way to move? Like, what's your favorite workout?
Great question.
Is it, or are you just stalling?
Yeah,
Look, he's
I'm buying my
thinking.
time. It's a really shitty question.
You didn't give us these like questions beforehand.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No, I'm just
My
saying it wasn't
agent-
that good of a question.
Listen, my agent's a shark. She's not playing games with
I
you.
am Chris's Chris Jenner.
and
never
my
be-
intern.
So I prefer to lift weights on my own, but if I was gonna do a workout that I'd be like, hey, this is my favorite thing. Army's really fun. I have a lot of fun with Army. I would say it's neck and neck, Army and rumble training, the treadmill classes. I just feel like it's the best workout that
Oh,
I
I
get.
love training.
Yeah.
Love.
When I'm done with the training class, I really feel like, oh, I gave it all. Like I'm
Love.
spent. And obviously I teach rumble boxing, so rumble boxing, like
You have to
super
say
dope.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
It's in your
course.
contract.
Okay,
If I could take my own class, sure, certainly.
so true.
So true.
So true.
Self-love.
Okay, where can everyone find you guys? Follow, take a class, all the things.
I am Chris's Kim Kardashian, and he is Paris
Sleep paralysis
Hilton.
demon.
Did you just whisper into the mic, sleep paralysis demon?
That's what I see when I can't wake
Sleep
up.
paralysis, what?
We can't get into
Demon.
sleep paralysis. It's at the
Okay,
end. We're at the
let's,
end. We
you'll be
can't.
on again. Okay, Karla, you go first.
Instagram, KS Henriquez.
TikTok, you said you're going to be like Octopussy. Put it out there.
You saying octopussy threw me off. I think I am going to start TikToking.
Okay, so shout out your TikTok.
Oh, no, we're not there yet. I don't like my name on TikTok yet. I got to fix that.
Okay. Chris, where can everyone find you and take your classes?
At Christopher Bryant _. It's so funny. I say it after my classes, so now it's like it rolls off the tongue. At Christopher Bryant _ on Instagram, not on TikTok yet. I'm sure
I
it'll
could feature
happen
you.
in the future. But I'm at all over the place. Rumble boxing and training. I teach more boxing than I do training. I'm at NoHo Chelsea. You can find it at rumbleboxinggym.com, and you would find Chris Acuna. Acuna, I should say
Okay,
it
love you
properly.
guys. They will be back on.
What if people didn't like us?
Then maybe they won't.
I can tell you they didn't like you, so tell me.
Okay, love you.